Alright, hey guys, it's Adrian here from sanatomy.com. Welcome to the quick tip session in ZBrush. We in ZBrush 2021.6, I believe. Yes, we in ZBrush 2021.6. But then if you're using any ZBrush, you can follow along this tutorial. So I thought let's focus on details. Let's do some details. Let's see how to achieve details in ZBrush 2021, how we do our details. So if you have been following along our channel, you have seen how we obsessed with high details, so HD geometry. But for this we're just going to use normal subdivisions. So if I press D on my keyboard, you can see the amount of details we're able to capture for these bones. Let me just turn off the polyframe. If you click this brush over here, you can just see the amount of micro details. So this was entirely hand sculpted, one by one. So everything you see over here was done by hand, and we shared our entire process on our channel, so you can check that out. Probably hook up a link in the description below so you guys can quickly see how we done these over here. So what we're gonna do today, we just gonna do one section. Let's see how we can replicate this and let's see how we can achieve these details again. So what I'm gonna do I want to duplicate this over here. So you can do this by clicking over here, or you can just use the shortcut, which is Control Shift D, which I strongly recommend you guys doing. Just knowing your shortcuts, and then that will help you guys to work more faster. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna drag, let's click this one over here, press E on your keyboard. So I want to use the move tool, W. So I want the gizmo, but then I can't see it. So if I press Alt and click on my mesh, this should bring me the gizmo, so for me to move this up to over here. As you can see, it's skew. What you want to do, press Alt Option on your keyboard and then click left click. This should correct the orientation of the gizmo. So I want to move it over here on the Y axis. Just pick this up and then turn off the solo mode so we can see both of these over here. So essentially what I want to do, we want to replicate understanding details. This is not necessary, but then I just want to keep it over here for now. Probably it's gonna make the system laggy. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna hide this with the solo key, and then what you want to do, pressing shift and then just smoothing that out. So just a quick warning, I'm using a mouse which I strongly don't recommend, but then I also started with a mouse, sculpting with the mouse, but then currently I'm using a mouse, so no one has any excuse. Just smoothing that out, and then pressing Shift D on your keyboard to go to the low subdivision again, so we can destroy those secondary forms. So we just want everything smooth. Shift D again to go to our primary forms now. Just make everything smooth, starting everything from scratch. Shift D again. As you can see, we're destroying everything, the forms and everything. Just making everything flat over here. Hope I don't have my, oh yes, symmetry. Make sure symmetry is off. Let's see, so we can compare with the other side. So what I'm gonna do here, shift D again to see how many, but then there's nothing over here. So okay, we start from here. So how I normally start with the details, what I always say, like on most of our tutorials, try not to focus more on the fine details. That's like the last stage. So what you want to do, focusing on the primary forms, like you can see these bumpy surfaces, those kind of points make everything very easy when you're going to be adding those fine micro details at the very end. So if you have your reference, unfortunately we don't have it, I don't have it here close by. What we do, I normally take the clay with a brush and use my brush size and then my intensity. So if you don't want to go on top, just press U on your keyboard and then just dial this down, probably 3 or 4, depends on the. So currently I don't have any pressure sensitivity going on, but then what I'm currently doing is creating those primary forms, those bumpy surfaces that you see over here. So these will help sell our bone when we at the micro detail stage. I'm just gonna run quickly. Again, I'm using the mouse. Probably you can hear my mouse clicking over here. Sorry for that, but then I just done this so no one will have any excuse. So currently I don't have any reference, but then I strongly recommend to have a reference on the side. Just look at real bones. We probably like go on YouTube, you should find real bones, real human bones, and then just try to replicate that. Look at each and every tiny detail. So once let's say I'm almost happy with these, I can just press D on my keyboard to go to the next subdivision, as you can see. So what I normally do, I never smooth out that rough surface. So if I want to do primary forms, I just make sure everything is rough. It might like look rough, but then the trick here is if you go to the next subdivision, it will smooth that out, and then if you come back, everything is it's clear again. So never smooth out when you're doing that. So I never used any smoothing. Just okay, let's go to the secondary forms. Now the secondary forms are those lines now that we have over there. So what I normally do for these ones depends on the situation. Probably let's get the standard brush. So we're using regular brushes. Just dial down that intensity, press U on the keyboard, and then just drag the intensity. Probably 8 will do for now. Just gonna drag that. Just coming in, nothing precise, but then just coming in. Right now I'm just doing random stuff, but probably you guys will have your own reference, and then you can just replicate that over there. I'm just coming in with the standard brush with my mouse over there, using the regular brushes in ZBrush, just coming in and building that up where I see fit. As you can see, probably like take your time. This is a quick tip, so spend a lot of time in this. This normally takes long, probably like take like to do the entire skeleton will probably take you the whole day or a few days. I can't remember how many. Probably it took like the entire month to do the skeletal systems, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, probably like took us the entire month. So let's say you're happy with this. You saw your reference. It's almost the same as your reference. Now you have your sort of your secondary forms. Press D on your keyboard to go to the next subdivisions, and then I'm just gonna make this smaller, and then I'm gonna come in again. I'm gonna come in now, just dragging that in, and just dragging that in, creating, just emphasizing where I can. You can see over here. So we're just gonna use the regular ZBrush with no alphas or anything, just using the brush. And once we're done over here, I'm just gonna grab let's grab our let's grab our alpha. So I'm gonna go to, we have a standard brush selector. Let's go to a drag, which alpha? I believe it's alpha 40, I believe. Then go to our drag rect. Let's see if I have yes. So what you want to do, make sure you're in Z sub, because we want to come in there. As you can see, we're still in low res. Don't be afraid, just coming in, just dragging those in. Right now we're not too concerned about the detail, we're just creating those. If you drag it very, very far, you can create that indents in your bones. If you drag it small, you can create those small dots, as you can see right there. Okay, once we have that, okay, now we go to our, press D on your keyboard, go to the next subdivision. Now what we have is let's see which alpha. Let's go to, let's try drag. Okay, let's go to drag rods, and then let's use alpha 07. Increase my brush a bit. Let's give this a try, and then okay, this should be working. You can see where just coming in, using different brush sizes. If you hold Alt option on your keyboard, you can invert, switch between a Z add and Z sub on the fly, so without going there. So what we have here is that, and then what I can do, probably will use like a spray, and down the intensity, as you can see. You can see over here. So this is it's like the base. And if you go to alpha again, go to 50, I believe, and holding on option, you just draw those, and as you can see right there. Now we are adding those small micro details. Okay, sorry to move that in. Just zooming back out. So adding those micro details. Again, I'm switching between the Z add and Z sub. So we have those tiny details. Now what we can do again, if you go to your drag rect and then select our alpha again, alpha 40. Now we can come in with these over here. Okay, let's see the intensity. Let's increase this. Now you can see. Now this has to be random, so if you have your reference, you can just use your reference. If you drag those small ones, you can see over there, this takes time, but then if you're doing those high shots, the camera can pick up if you export very, very nice maps, those displacement maps. So this helps solve everything over here. So just coming in with that our alpha, again using the standard ZBrush, just coming and dragging that in and dragging those small ones that you can hardly see, but then if you zoom very closely, you can pick those ones up. And I can drag like a very big one over here, and then just coming back and drag those small ones again where I see fit. And then if I hold an auto option, I can invert and create that bumpy effect that you guys normally see on bones. So strongly advise you guys to have your reference on the side, and then just coming in like so, just picking that up, using that to help sell. And then what I can do, I can also the clay pitter brush and press Shift D, so we still have subdivision. So what I can do, I can come in those areas with the builder brush, and then come in around those dots, just help sell my form. So I'm just help build, let's say you're unhappy with your secondary forms, you can just come in with the clay pitter brush, don't smooth nothing out, and then go back to the subdivisions, to the high subdivision. You can see you have that right there. And then what I done also, we grab the Damien standard, and now this takes time. Let's see, okay, this is way too harsh. Dialing this down probably like 20 or 15. Let's see, yeah, now you can create, style this down probably with 1 or so. Yes, just going in those bumpy surfaces, creating those lines just randomly, probably like if you have your reference, just try follow your reference over there. Just coming in, as you can see, ever so slightly, probably scale this one up just a tad, and then I'm just gonna come in, taking that in again ever so slightly, just creating that effect. Oh no, bones right there, nothing too complicated for now. And then like probably like if you give it time, so this requires a lot of time, just give it time, and then just come in, like be free, and then creating this by hand. And then to close this, I can go back to a standard brush over here, and then I can select the spray again, and the alpha 50, I believe. Okay, we have our intensity quite high now, probably like dial it down to 18. That's too harsh. Okay, scale down, intensity probably like 8 or so. Yeah, and then just coming in again, and then probably do a 10. Yes, just coming in now, creating those micro details, just changing your brush strokes where you see fit. I can even come in with the drag rack and just draw those. Just come in and draw those. Just randomly, as you can see over here. And then yeah, that's like basically the very quick breakdown how we made these details. So you need a lot of time to make this precise. As you can see over here, there's a lot of time invested in this. So if I pan around, there's a lot of time invested. As you can see, these are maybe tiny details over here. We use pretty much the same technique that I just showed you guys over here. Let's just move this a tad. So yeah, I have to go for now, but then this is basically like showing you guys the entire process of details. So basically it's primary forms, secondary forms, and then those micro details, doing everything by hand in ZBrush 2021.6. I'm Adrian here from saanatomy.com, and I'll see you guys on the next one.